from the U.S. Treasury on the question of the dollar?
Well, I think, we're talking about the Treasury and the Fed, and both of them are important. What we haven't talked about is the U.S. Congress. All spending comes from Congress today, and I understand that we're talking about a third stimulus bill in a year when the first two haven't worked. And so the conclusion is, well, we must need a third. My understanding is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Look,
we don't need more spending.
How are they going to unwind $1 trillion worth of mortgage-backed securities and Treasury bonds? How can they do it? It's like landing a jet airliner on a driveway. You can't do it. It's going to breed inflation. We're going to monetize it personally.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think of Don Luskin's absolution? It's a papal absolution of the Treasury.
Ask Don Luskin, does he want
a promotion you're giving me, Larry? I don't even wear a funny hat.
It's a papal absolution of the Treasury.
Does Don Luskin want the Fed to raise interest rates today?
Of course not, because he violated a promise that the Fed made to the marketplace.
Obama passes it to Geithner. Geithner passes it to Bernanke. Nobody wants to take responsibility for the U.S. dollar.
Do you want them to break their promises?
I want a stable dollar, and I want them to fight inflation. That's what I want them to do.
Are you having a problem hearing me? Do you want them to break their promises?
Listen, I want a stable dollar.
Do you want them to break their promises?
Hey, Brian Dmitrovich, while they work this out here on the set, what would be wrong with the Fed raising short-term interest rates?
Just a little bit.
Larry, this is exactly what Paul Volcker did in 1981. When Reagan was forced to run a $128 billion budget deficit, the money stock ground to a complete halt that year. And then when Reagan's tax cuts came in, the markets took off.
And the dollar took off, too. Jerry Bowyer, how about pay caps on all American companies so we punish success? How about raising top tax rates? How about the health care takeover? That's all. How is that helpful to the U.S. dollar, Jerry?
Well, pay caps are we're going to export our most talented corporate executives, so all the smart guys are going to work for other countries. And that just makes the entire U.S. economy worth less, which is another dent in the dollar.
Look, this is a brilliant scheme to bring home prices up to a more palatable level. But let me tell you,
I think this is a dumb scheme.
Let me tell you
this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Absolutely.
Dumb.
What they want,
and I worry. I want to tell you this right here and now. I have been a bull on the stock market pretty much all year. And I have seen a recovery coming. Okay, fine. But I got to tell you, I cannot be a long-run bull. I cannot be.
Because inflation destroys an economy.
Who's saying that?
We do not have inflation-immune tax structures. I mean, the capital gains tax is not indexed for inflation. So if there's inflation, the stock market cannot hold.
All right.
Exactly.
All right. I mean, this is the stuff that works. If you pursue the wrong economic model, you're going to get the wrong economic outcome.
Right. Well, that's my point.
I got to stop there.
There's one thing we can agree on, though. I'm shopping at Office Depot for me.
Yeah.
Office Depot is just great.
Yes.
It's a great store, and I wish you all the best in the world. And thank you for being willing to share your opinions with us, Mr. Osmond. We really appreciate it very much. Many thanks to Jerry Bowyer, Michael Pinto, Don Luskin, and Brian Dmitrovich, who's written this terrific book about supply-side economics. Coming up on the Kudlow Report, the supply side continues. Texas Governor Rick Perry, he'll talk to us about being a Texas supply-sider. He may have something to say about federal government spending, and who knows, he may have his own dollar in monetary policy. You're watching the Kudlow Report. We are campaigning to go back to a pro-growth, strong dollar, low tax, deregulation, limited government supply model. Stay with us.
We believe in success. But it does offend our values when executives of big financial firms, firms that are struggling, pay themselves huge bonuses even as they continue to rely on taxpayer assistance to stay afloat.